What up, Dodgers Nation? We are joined by two-time All-Star, two-time World Series champion here on the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube, Max Muncy, the hottest player on the planet. Max, first of all, I don't want to do. I gotta get like Max Muncy, man. I gotta put the glasses on. Man. I gotta put the glasses on, man. And I gotta say, first of all, you've heard a lot about the glasses, right? And what I want to say though is, for your whole career, you've averaged like 32 home runs per 162 game season. I mean, the glasses should be happy to have Max Muncy, not the other way around. You've been a great player your whole career, but I mean, just how have those glasses helped you?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Everyone wants to relate what I've been doing recently to wearing the glasses, and you know, I'm not ready to fully buy into that one just yet. But it is hard to deny I've been playing better since I, put the glasses on. But for me, it was just one of those things where just over the last several years, noticed I was becoming, I had always known I was left eye dominant, which is tricky as a left-handed hitter, being your back eye, and felt like it was becoming more and more dominant over the last several years. Because I used to wear sunglasses during day games when I hit, and the last 2-3 years I wasn't able to do it because I was seeing too much of the nose piece when I was in the batter's box, and that was kind of the first sign to me that was like my left eye is really starting to take over. And when I talked to the eye doctor about it, and he was kind of like, hey, this might be able to help you out, I was sure, something I'll try. And it took a while to get used to, but now that I've fully adjusted to it, I don't mind wearing them, and it's hard to deny the results.
Yeah, just kind of what's the origin story of it? Was it Kike's optometrist, and like whose idea was it, and are they here to stay?
Well, it's the same guy. I've been going to him for 8 or 9 years now. He's a great dude. He's awesome. I love going to hang out with him, and it's just one of those things where he always did the eye check every year and always had great vision. And this year he just kind of mentioned something, and I was like, yeah, my right eye hasn't been as good as my left eye, and he just mentioned, you want to try something? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, at this point I'm open to trying anything, and so it was one of those things where that's just how it happened. It was kind of just an idea, and we rolled with it.
Yeah, big league hitters are going to be lining up around the block to see their optometrist, trying to get the Max Muncy special. But to remind everyone, Max Muncy and Kelly Muncy, they partnered with Uncourt for a cause to host a special wine tasting auction on June 12th at the Intercontinental Hotel. Every guest in attendance will receive a bottle of Muncys Sonoma Reserve Cuvée, and they can uncork that when they celebrate another World Series title, right? But what can fans expect? I mean, the Dodgers players going to be out there. You're going to be out there. An awesome event to help us. Great cause. But what can you say about the event?
Yeah, it was just it was something that really my wife was extremely interested in. And Uncork for a Cause, they do a lot of great stuff, and they reached out, asked if we wanted to maybe do anything. And for us, just seeing the devastation in the community from the fires is one of those things where we jumped on it. We kept trying to figure out how we could help, and this idea popped up, and it was kind of a no-brainer for us. Just we've built our home here in LA. It's become home to us. We've been a part of this community for so many years now that just getting an opportunity to help them out as much as we can, we felt like we had to jump on it. And so the night's gonna be a fun night. There's gonna be lots of stuff up for auction. There's some jerseys, some bats, some wine bottles that'll be signed by the team, and all the proceeds are gonna go to help fire relief out around the LA area.
Yeah, it's a great cause. You got Dodgers players there. It's a must for all Dodgers fans. If you're watching this, if you can go, you better go. It's going to be an exciting night. Are you a red wine or a red Budweiser guy? I mean, I know you like your beer. I know you like to throw some back, but you got to class it up too with some wine. Am I right?
I think that's going to depend on the scenario. If we're winning a postseason series, give me the Budweiser. It's fun to splash those around everywhere. But I mix it up. I do enjoy a good red wine every now and then. I try not to drink too much, but if you go out to a nice dinner, a glass of red wine is hard to beat.
Awesome. Yeah, so kind of getting back to this season, early on the year, you kind of got a slow start by your standards, and everyone, all your teammates, Dave Roberts, he told me that you're as good of a hitter as anyone he's ever managed. Just kind of what it mean to have the support from your teammates, and is there kind of a moment or a conversation you had with Dave that kind of let you know, hey, this guy supports me through thick and thin?
I mean, it means everything to know you have the support of, your coaching staff, your front office, your teammates, and just, seeing those guys every single day trying to back you up, trying to keep you positive, and that's something that this clubhouse has done really well. Not just with me, with anybody. When anyone goes through a rough stretch, everyone's always there to pick them up, be like, hey, you got some big ones coming, don't worry, don't sweat this, you got some big ones coming. Everyone's going to go through a slump at some point in the season. Well, maybe not Freddie. He seems like he's on fire right now, but yeah, everyone's going to go through something at some point in the season. It's baseball. It's bound to happen. Mine just happened to come right at the start of the season, which is the worst time you can probably have it. Just you don't have anything to kind of back you up, and so you're really working from scratch. And but as I've kind of talked about before, I was hitting the ball hard, and that to me was like the positive sign I kept taking. It was like, hey, you're making good contact. You're making good contact. Just clean up a little bit. Cut down the strikeouts a little bit. Start making more contact. But when I am making contact, I was hitting the ball hard, just not getting the best results out of it. That to me was what I was trying to build on, is just keep the positivity on that, is that, hey, if I wasn't hitting the ball hard, then we got to start worrying about changing everything. And for me, just knowing that there was still hard contact there, I was building on that, and that was able to get me to where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I was talking to Aaron Bates, and he was telling me that when you start to crush those fastballs up out of the zone, you're going to cover everything else, and that's how you can tell you're locked in. Does it feel like you just found your rhythm and this is going to carry out? Obviously, it's baseball. You're going to have some downward slides during the year, but does it kind of feel you're in a good spot for the rest of the way?
Yeah, right now it feels really good. And I agree. When I'm handling the high fastball, that's when I'm at my best. I'm able to set my sights where I think the top is, and I can just work my way down from there. And that's what I've really been able to do the last several days. And when I can handle the fastball up, that really gives me the confidence that I can kind of stay on anything. And when I can handle it up without having to cheat to it, that's when I really know I'm in a good spot. And that's what I like to build on, is just working on the fastball up.
Why are your bat flips so cold? I mean, where does that come from? I mean, it's just, there's like an aggression, like a nastiness to it. I mean, I think you're a top 5 all-time bat flipper. I mean, but do you agree?
I don't know where it just happens. It's one of those things where I've never thought about it. I've never said I'm going to do this. I've never planned on doing anything. They just kind of happen in the moment. And a lot of them tend to be emotion-based. Last night, for example, being able to get us back in the game after making that stupid mistake earlier, right? That's where the emotion comes out. It was, and that's really how they've always happened in the past. It's just, there's a little bit of emotion behind it, depending on the situation of the game, and whatever comes out, comes out.
Yeah, and one thing I think that everyone loves about Max Muncy is, I mean, you start here, you've been the guy that's hit more home runs than anyone in this organization since you've been here. You're on a club option after this season. Is that ever go through your mind this year, and would you like to be with the Dodgers past this year and kind of get something locked up so you can retire here someday?
Well, I don't think it's any secret that I would love to retire here. I've made that very well known, but in terms of how that works out, I can't worry about that. Right now, how I've always gone about it is I worry about what we have in front of us today, and that's a game against the New York Mets with Griffin Canning starting. And then, once tonight's over, you move on to the next day. We got a day game tomorrow, travel day. That's how I've always gone about my business in terms of that stuff. I just try to focus on what I can for today. How can I get better today? What do I need to do in the cage? What do I need to do on the field? What do I need to do, in the weight room, training room, trying to keep my body healthy. And then when the day's over, you go home, you enjoy your family, and you show up the next day, and what do you focus on getting better for that day? And if you're able to do that and just kind of stay within yourself, all that kind of stuff takes care of itself in the end.
Yeah, because like wine, I mean, you're aging like fine wine as far as being productive, being great. I mean, you want to play this game much further than next season, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I hope I still got several good years left in me. And like I said, that's kind of stuff that just takes care of itself. And for me, the goal is to focus on the here and now. And right now, we have a really good team, and just trying to do anything I can to help the team win the games.
Yeah, because I always kind of like to ask players, like, when's the last time you kind of Googled yourself? When's the last time you kind of looked at like where your numbers stack up with the other Dodger greats? You're close to passing Matt Kemp. You're close to passing Steve Garvey for most home runs as a Los Angeles Dodger. What does it mean to kind of be included in that list? And I mean, you come back for the next couple of years, you could end up maybe passing EK one day for the most home runs in LA Dodgers history. I'm telling you, man, you're a 30 home run guy. It's a lock when you're healthy.
Yeah, it's really cool to me. It's an honor and a blessing just to be included with a lot of those names. Those were all extremely great players for the Dodgers, and this organization alone just being as historic and successful as it's been, and just groundbreaking as it's been, to be able to be included in any of those names is truly a blessing to me, and it's something that I really don't take for granted. And without this organization, I probably wouldn't be in baseball. And so it's one of those things where to be able to do all that for the organization that you love so much, it means the world to me.
Yeah, I was going to ask that too. I mean, you're someone who, I mean, you got the Shoheis that were scouted since they were 9, and someone like yourself, you've continued to persevere throughout your career. Like, just how close were you to like going to the KBO or trying something else, and then you end up here and look at you winning World Series, making All-Star teams. It's honestly a movie.
Well, after Oakland, you know, that was pretty dead set on retiring actually, and I had an offer to go play in the KBO, and you know, I didn't really want to take it. I was pretty dead set on retiring, and after you sit there on the couch for 3-4 weeks, you realize maybe you want to give it another shot, and everything's kind of turned out how it has since.
Hey, by the way, you're the only Max Muncy at Oakland A that I believe in, okay? I just want to point that out for sure. What is the best baseball advice you've ever received? I mean, short, sweet, like anything that kind of just comes back into your head when you need something?
Have fun. Just remember why you play the game. It's to have fun. And, you know, for me, I have a couple more reasons why I'm playing this game now. You know, my family, my kids. You know, that's something that, you know, I have their names on the back of my glove, and I'm always rubbing that to remind myself they're why I'm playing this game, to have fun. And, you know, for me, that was the biggest thing that changed for me, was just find a way to have fun out on the field any way you can. You know, there's always something you can do to help the team win, but if you're not having fun while you're out there, then what's the whole point? And so for me, that was the biggest piece of advice that I've ever gotten and that I ever give to anybody.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of fun to face you on the mound right now. I just want to point that out. Now, got to ask you about Shohei Ohtani. I'm always asked, I get some time in the clubhouse, time on the field, like, what's he really like? When you're asked that question, what's Shohei Ohtani like as a teammate? Kind of what's he like when no one's around? I mean, how would you kind of describe him? Here he comes right here.
He's awesome. He's a lot of fun. You know, he loves to joke around. He likes to play little pranks on everybody, and you know, he's always smiling and laughing, having a good time. And the best way that I describe him to everybody is like when you were like 10, 11 years old, there was always that guy you played with that you swore was like 16. He was just so much better than everybody. That's how he feels. He's just a little kid that's just better than everybody else out there. And you know, he has so much fun with everything that he does. And you know, our meetings, the you know, the plane flights, the bus rides, he's always just cracking jokes, and it's just it's fun to be around a guy like that, to, you know, to be such a global superstar and to realize, you know, just how humble he is and how lighthearted he is, and just, you know, how much fun he loves to have everybody.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like you see he's the only guy that says hello to the umpire every inning, right? Every time he has an at bat. But then also you saw the what he did when you guys hit the home run against the Diamondbacks with Gurriel. I mean, was that a little troll job? I mean, he's got that dog in him. I feel like it's almost the dog comes down those big moments.
I have no idea on that one. You know, that's I don't know that any of us have ever actually talked to him about it. My honest guess is he wasn't trying to troll him. He was just you know, celebrating that moment at that time. You know, there was a lot of talk about him not getting the job done with runners in scoring position at that moment. And so I think for him to come through with that big home run, it was kind of like, yes, I'm doing it, even though we all knew he was going to anyways. It's not like that was ever a question. So I don't think he was trying to troll him.
Yeah, no, it was coincidence, right? But here with the great Max Muncy, a couple more here. I want to ask you, I'm always asked you, like, who's the leader of the Dodgers, the clubhouse leader? For me, I mean, it feels like all you guys are professionals, all you guys are stars, superstars. I mean, but is there, like, if any type of rah-rah guy, if you need a moment, you need a speech or anything like that, like, who would that guy be? A lot of people would say you, right?
It's hard to single out one person. Yeah. There's just so many guys that, you know, lead in their own way, and I think that's what makes the clubhouse so complete is, you know, you have so many different guys that can do things differently. And I was just talking about Mookie, and, you know, Mookie's one of those guys that's always leading on the field, trying to help out guys. You know, someone was asking me what he was talking to me about in the infield, and, you know, he's just trying to spread any knowledge that he has, you know, whether it's hitting, whether it's on defense, whether it's base running. He's always trying to give knowledge to everybody to make himself better, and so that's how he leads. And then you have a guy like Miggy Rowe, who is very vocal in the clubhouse and keeping everybody positive, and, you know, that's what he does so well, is he loves to have fun and joke around with people, but he's also very good at keeping everyone positive. And so there's so many different guys that, you know, lead in their own way, and that's why it's so hard to pinpoint one guy on the team.
Was there any moment during the 2024 run that stands out as far as just a moment that kind of brought you guys together to kind of go and have that run?
For me, I'm always going to say, you know, how special it was that the players took control of how the team was going to, you know, be ran. And that was something that started during our last series of the year in Colorado. A bunch of us got together and we talked, and we said, this is how we want to do things this year. This is how we want to handle the 5 days off for the bye. This is how we want to handle the travel. This is how we want to handle the hotel situations. This is how we want to handle what we're doing on the off days. And for the players to come together, meet like that, and then go to the front office and say, this is how we're going to do things this year, and not even question, just this is how we're going to do things, and for them to be like, sounds great. To me, that's the thing that I'm going to take away the most, is just the players taking over the team and saying, this is what we're going to do, and when we do it, we're going to win, and that's how it worked out.
And do you feel that same closeness on this team? And then also want to ask you, you guys have a chance to do something that has been done in a long time. That's go back-to-back. Now, the standard here is always to win a World Series, but is that something that you kind of lean into? Like, this is a team that people could talk about forever because of the opportunity that you have to do something that hasn't been done in a long time.
Repeating in baseball is one of the hardest things I think there is to do in sports. It's just, we talk about it all the time. When you play deep into October and November, the body doesn't have time to heal, and you deal with a lot of injuries. And we've already seen that as it is, but you see it with other teams all the time. The first time they make it to the playoffs, they all break in half the next year. And when you have to go to the playoffs every single year like we've done, it really takes a toll on your body, and that's why repeating is such a hard thing to do. And for us, we know the depth we have, we know the team we have, and that's one of those things where even though when we go through a couple of bad stretches, no one in the clubhouse falters. We all know what we have. We all know where we're going to be at the end, and it's one of those things where you just kind of weather the storm, and when things start rolling well, you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. We got Max Muncy here. A couple quick ones on the way out. Okay, you guys are on the road, expensive dinner. Which teammate is most likely to pick up that bill?
We usually spread those around.
Venmoing, Zelling?
No, there's usually not one guy. There's a lot of guys on this team making money, so whenever we go out to dinner, it's usually split, and each dinner is usually different guys.
All right, bar fight. You're picking two of your teammates. Who you picking? Tab your back.
Do they have to be active right now?
No, you go back.
Well, Zooks is in there.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I'll take Gratterall, and then oh man. I'm gonna go wild one, and I'm gonna pick Comet. I feel like he'd have some quick skills to
Quadzilla, right?
Get in and out. Be quick on people, get behind them. I feel like he'd be a good one.
Which Dodger teammate would be your emergency contact?
Either Freddie or Kirsch, probably. We got a lot of kids. They know how to handle things.
Love that one. Okay, where are your World Series rings?
I'm gonna keep that information private, but they're in a good spot.
Why'd you choose 13?
That's always a funny story. When I signed over here at the Dodgers and they put me in OKC, they asked me to pick a uniform, and in the minor leagues you recycle uniforms every year, and they maybe get a new uniform once every 5 years or so. And so when I got over there, the club he was talking to me, he said we had like 7 and 13 and 20 or something like that. He goes, well, no one's ever worn 13. I said, well, I'll take 13 then. It was the cleanest jersey at the time, and I had a really good year, and so I just kept it the next year going into spring. Iconic.
Okay, what's your favorite team celebration throughout the years? You got the Shohei right now with this. You got the Trey. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but do you have a favorite? Freddie?
The Freddie dance is hard to beat. Just because the origin of it.
Gone through multiple seasons too.
Yeah, just the origin of it, how it's came about, how it's stuck, and it's always fun to see which guys really get into it out there.
Awesome. So last thing here, we're gonna go see how well you know your Dodgers teammates as kids. Father's Day is coming up in a couple weeks. Who's that?
That's Freddie.
Really? That's pretty quick by you. That is. You're right. All right.
Conforto. I feel like that's gonna be Shohei.
Boom.
Mookie.
Look at the stance.
Yeah, it's the exact same. Oh man, St. Mary's. Gonsolin?
Yep, there you go.
That's Kirsch and Stafford.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you know that? It's a fun fact. It's a little known fact.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knows that one yet. Yoshi?
Yep.
Eulis, so that's going to be Dustin May. Tommy? No.
Pitcher.
Rookie.
Boom.
That's Tommy.
That's Tommy, yeah. This is an easy one.
Blake.
Yeah, that one. Oh, here we go. A little tougher.
Will.
Oh, man, you're undefeated.
Yeah. That's me.
Just playing. Last thing I want to say, though.
If you don't want me to watch the ball, you can go get it out of the ocean.
Last question here. What would current Max Muncy say to this version of Max Muncy, knowing that you're a two-time World Series champion, a two-time All-Star, and you made all your baseball dreams come true?
Always believe in yourself and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
There he is, the great Max Muncy. Be there June 12th. Of all the information, you have to go. Auctions, live entertainment, teammates going to be there. The great Max Muncy, certified Dodgers legend. Join us here on Dodgers Dugout Live.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
time.